Hi, this is Danny Jarabek here with Awards Radar, and I'm delighted to have with me today Sarayu Blue of Amazon Prime series Expats. Sarayu, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining me.
I am so good and I am so excited to get to talk to you and to be here. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's an absolute pleasure. Like I was just telling you, I think this series is phenomenal. The level of craft and precision of just filmmaking with this series is so high, and I'm so glad to be able to kind of chat with you as part of it. So I'm curious to hear just kind of how did you come to this project? What was the process of, finding Lulu, finding the script and finding this role?
So much of it was just a really sort of standard, fashion in that I just got an audition and I was so lucky to get that appointment. And the minute I read the sides, I knew sort of the scale of what this opportunity was. It wasn't hard to recognize the importance of this story and the fact that it was Lulu and Nicole, and I just felt I mean, I still sort of have these pinch me moments where I'm like, did this really happen? And I remember getting the audition and I got the sides, and I worked with Lulu via Zoom. And I remember at times we did it a few times, and one of the sessions was at something like 10:45 at night because she was overseas at the time, scouting locations. And I remember working with her, and a few of our other writer and producers were on the Zoom as well. And it was so surreal. Like I don't even fully know what I was thinking in those moments because I was sort of like, wait, I'm doing an audition with Lulu Wang at 10:45 at night. Like it just felt, I don't know. It's amazing that it's gotten to where we are now with it is even more incredible.
Absolutely. So when you got this script, what kind of drew you into this character, drew you into this story, and what Lulu really wants to accomplish with this project?
I think what excited me pretty early on with the script and with Hillary was just sort of how visceral the entire show is. It's a show that you feel like you're in the world from like minute one, And that has to do with obviously the way it was filmed, but then there's an element of that that's right there on the page. I mean, I remember reading episode 5 and just like leaning forward because I just couldn't get it into my body fast enough. And I think Hillary is obviously exciting simply because she's so human. I mean, here's this South Asian woman who's got so many layers, this incredible story with her family, this experience with her friend Margaret, this experience with her husband. There's just so much nuance and depth and layers to peel back with Hillary. And I think having that kind of opportunity in my history is not one that comes just sort of immediately. It's a very rare gem to get a role like Hillary.
Yeah, and I think the character and how it fits into this world, like you said, it's so visceral, but it's also so multidimensional too. Did you kind of get that feeling when you started reading the script, just how just like almost like you said, just how human and so many layers who this character was and how you were going to begin to kind of unpack that?
Absolutely. It was so apparent early on that this was a deeply complicated, complex, flawed human being. And what was great was then we had Gursimran Sandhu, who wrote episode 4 and who was in the writer's room, Vera Mayo as well, and Alice Bell. I just want to give a shout out to all the incredible writers. But Gursimran, of course, shaped Hillary with such authenticity because Gursimran is also South Asian. She's Sikh, she's Punjabi. So she really brought a specificity to Hillary's storyline that we needed and that builds what you see. I mean, there's a reason you see this really messy, complicated human relationship between Hillary and her mother. And we see that. And I think the reason people are so drawn to it, obviously of the South Asian community, but really it's very universal. And I think it's universal because of the specificity, because it's so authentic, because it's so real and believable. That's what pulls us all in.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just in kind of preparing for this character,
Yeah.
Hillary has this very calculated appearance, and she is very aware of the way that she has an impression on people. How did you kind of find your way into that?
I have to give a lot of credit to our wardrobe designer, Mulgrew.
Yeah,
You know,
it's incredible, the costumes of this show.
unreal, unreal. And really, I mean, this is where it's always sort of funny to me because I'm so different from Hillary. I mean, ask anyone who knows me. I'm this sort of like, sneaker wearing. I don't do makeup and hair all the time. I'm very sort of like, I'm very much a disaster. That's the honest truth. I lose my keys and my phone 15 times a day. Like there's nothing about me that is like contained and put together. And you always know what I'm feeling the second I'm feeling it. So Hillary really comes to life for me and feels like such an exciting role to get to play because she is so different from me. I mean, that is the actor's dream. We don't get into this to play
Mhm.
ourselves. And to get to play a character who's so vastly different from me. But then it's like you said, how do you do that? How do you find her? Because we do have to tell the truth and bring ourselves to it to some extent. And again, I go to wardrobe. I mean, for me, I love a fitting because I feel like so much of a character gets shaped in those moments. And when you put me in 6-inch heels and a perfectly tailored suit, I walk differently. I feel differently when my hair and makeup are pristine. It just changes how I move in the world. And I think that was such a huge part of Hillary. It was
Yeah, no,
all
I mean, like I said, the wardrobes
sorry,
are amazing. It's like stunning to watch.
unreal, just down to even the moment she wears a red dress, the moment she, takes a little departure from what she always does. Like everything has such a meaning to it. Everything is for a reason.
So, of course, Lulu Wang is a huge part of this, bringing the show to. What was it like working with her and being on set with her and just being kind of part of the creative process with her as well? I'm a huge fan of her previous work too, with The Farewell, and so I was very excited to, when I heard that she was attached to this project, what it was going to be. So, what was it like for just kind of being through the collaborative process with Lulu?
It was great. It was really great. It's like, it's sometimes I try to find new words, but the just core truth is I loved every second of it. I mean, Lulu is great because one, she has an amazing sense of humor. She loves to get silly and laugh, which is something that you need when you're working on a project that is this intense. That being said, in those intense moments when there's really deep, raw vulnerability that we need to bring to the table, there's a total sensitivity. The set is so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Even when she would come to give me notes, she'd kind of like creep over gently and sort of say, okay, yeah. And she kind of whispers because she doesn't want to take me out of it. And that kind of thoughtfulness and sensitivity to do the elevator moments, or for me, I think what was incredibly raw was not that the elevator moment wasn't, the monologue is intense. And then on top of that, I should say the hospital stuff with the dad, was really, really, it took a lot. I remember just being
Mhm.
like, "Okay, I gotta really go there to get to this point." And just the level of awareness she has around what it might need, what an actor might need to go there and to not take us out of those moments. That's a really generous sensitivity that is not always afforded on sets.
Oh,
She's
that's
a
really cool to hear. And you kind of allude to some of the heavier moments of this. There's a lot of tragedy, there's a lot of grief involved in the series. What was it like to kind of take on the opportunity to play into that really kind of heavy drama in a way too? Because I mean, I'm familiar with a lot of your comedy work too, and it's kind of a different note here
different note.
with the level of grief and drama here. So what was that opportunity like to kind of play through that side of things?
I mean, I think at the core, it's really exciting. This is what we all want as actors. Again, like to
Mhm.
get to keep changing it up, to show a new muscle, to show a new skill set. I
Yeah.
think I was also really scared. I had gotten to a place where I was sort of getting to do a certain kind of role. It was fun. It was where I lived. I felt really lucky if I got the job. And to be asked to do this isn't just drama, this is like so real, so slice of life, so vulnerable, so like you can't lie for 1 second without it being noticed, right? The camera's going to catch it. So there is no phoning it in. There is no just sort of like, playing it, but you have to be really willing to give it all. And that was scary. I haven't been asked of that in since I was in grad school to some extent, or since I did, my first job out of grad school was the cherry orchard at Yale Rep. That was like the last time maybe I've had to go this deep with something. And I think that's not totally true, but it feels like that, or it felt like that. And I think that it was the kind of fear that we actors are lucky to get, if that makes sense. Like, if you get a job like this and you get to be scared and you get to be challenged, it is the absolute total dream. Like, that's what we always want. That's what I always want, is to just keep getting to be a little scared.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and that's really cool to hear. I we mentioned the wardrobes. The way I kind of watch this is I love all of the characters themselves in the show, but I also thought of the wardrobes of the character, and the other character I kind of thought of at times was the setting in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
What was it like just being in that world and being kind of able to kind of experience the set, the location as part of the show as well?
It's so helpful. It's everything we could ever. I mean, first of all, I miss Hong Kong every day. Like, I can't stop thinking about the food in Hong Kong and the vibrance of Hong Kong and just how singular and special of an environment and place it is, really. Like, I feel so lucky that I got to spend 5.5 months there. And I feel so lucky that um we got to film there for the entire time. I mean, not the we did, I had some storyline in LA as well, but like that we got to do so much in Hong Kong. I mean, that's rare. A lot of times you're not shooting in the location that you're supposedly your show or movie is set in. You're just, kind of playing pretend, which is great. That's what we do, but it's even better when you get to have the actual environment surrounding you and filling your veins with, this gorgeous place. It was amazing.
Yeah, one more question for you because this series is filled with so many just talented actors and actresses who I think working at such a high degree of craft. Of course, Nicole,
Yeah.
but also so many others that I think
Yeah.
really fill up the screen with such a high level of precision and attention to detail. So, what was the kind of chemistry with you and your castmates, and just the way that you all just really brought out, it feels like, the best out of each other?
I think that's such an important piece. And I feel so lucky that we had that. And especially, Hillary has a little bit of a divergent storyline. So Nicole and I have stuff together, but I don't have a ton with like, Brian or Ji Young or Ruby. And also shout out to Ruby because holy everything. That woman is a next level genius. And same with like Sudha Butcher, right? Getting to work with the likes of Ruby, Sudha, Kavi Ross, who played my dad. I mean, these are the actors who you just watch them and get better just because they exist. And same with Nicole, same with Brian T, same with Jack Houston, who I did get to have a lot with. And Jack and I had
Mm.
great chemistry, which made it so easy. And part of the reason I had such great chemistry with someone like Jack or someone like Nicole is because they're actors. They want to play, they want to give you something and they want you to, volley that right back. And so it just makes it the actor's dream to get to work with people at this caliber, truly.
It's really, and I think it really was on screen because it's just so exciting to watch unfold. And I mean, episode five, I don't even know. You and I both know episode five, just oh my gosh.
It's
But yeah,
unreal.
thank you so much for your time. Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you
so much
so
for your
much.
time. And it was an absolute pleasure to chat with you and hear a little bit more about this character. It's a phenomenal series, phenomenal work. And so thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, you too.
Okay, bye.